What's up, guys? Well, we just got episode 2 of the Chucky TV series titled Give Me Something Good to Eat. A Halloween-themed episode in a Chucky TV series. Hell yes, give me more. I always love Halloween episodes in any TV series. When you have a slasher series, especially one that's based off of my pretty much favorite horror icon, throwing a little Halloween in there never hurts. So just like last week, I'm going to give you my quick edited review right now of this episode, and then tomorrow afternoon we're going to do a live spoiler stream. There will be spoilers in this review as well, though, so if you have not seen episode 2, be sure to go check that out before watching this review. So if you guys remember last week, I really enjoyed the premiere for this show. I wasn't really sure what the direction was going to be with this for a long time. I wasn't really, I was cautiously optimistic, but I was nervous about what level of quality we were going to get on a TV network like Sci-Fi. To me, it just didn't really ring a whole lot of confidence from me, and all of that was silenced in the first episode. I did have a couple of issues with it, but overall, for a premiere episode, it got me very excited. I was pretty happy with everything going on, especially Chucky, and I'm totally on board for this series. Coming into episode 2, that is even stronger. This episode was even better than episode 1 for me. Not only now do we know the characters, so now we can just kind of settle in and go down the road with Jake and Chucky and see where the story is going to be taking us, but to me there was a lot of tension in this episode, which is really good. Like, there's moments where you think somebody might die and you're kind of getting that POV angle of Chucky and you're wondering how he's going to do it or if he's going to do it. There's a scene later on in the episode especially where there's, the two kids are making out on the bed and Lexi's one of them and that's his target, and he keeps sticking the knife through the bed and just barely missing her, and then he's sitting there like, God damn it, and then as soon as she rolls over onto him, he goes to do this and they sit up, and that was a really cool way that they edited that scene. It was humorous, but it was also tense to the point where you kind of, you feel like maybe she's about to get it just as somebody comes in, and then when she doesn't, you're kind of laughing at Chucky's peril that he didn't get to take out his prey. Now, on the subject of Chucky taking out his prey, the one kill that we get in this episode was awesome. I had a problem with the kill in the last episode, thought it was a little bit too silly. This was straight up carnage. I mean, whenever I saw her pull that dishwasher rack out and all those knives are sticking up, which you should never do, people. Never put your knives sticking up. That's just a safety hazard, as you find out in this episode. And the way that she just fell on that, or Chucky pushed her on it, she just sat there and just bled out all afternoon for the kids to come find her. Gnarly. Now, as far as the story that we're going along in this episode, now Jake and Chucky are kind of having this, bit of a strained friendship. Jake doesn't quite trust him. Jake thinks that he's out for no good, but, Chucky's slowly starting to seduce him, slowly starting to make him come into his camp a little bit, namely because of what's going on at school. So, being the fact that he had this tragic death of his father, you get all these kids now that are now starting to be nice to him because they feel a little bit of sympathy for him. They feel bad for him. And I'll be honest, the scene where the bully from the last episode was inviting him to his party, I totally thought that was a setup. I thought it was so obvious. I'm like, dude, don't go to that party. They're going to fucking pour pig's blood on you. But I was surprised. I was genuinely surprised that he actually was befriending him by the end of the episode. So that was a nice little misdirection there, Don Mancini. But they have this whole thing where the party is going on, and Jake's on the fence, doesn't really want to go. You're starting to see that budding possible romance between him and the podcast kid, which I kind of picked up on in the first episode and was hoping that they were actually going to explore that. So they are. And he realizes that Chucky is gone. He's like, fuck, he's going to this party. Goes to the party, and it's all about Chucky trying to hunt down Lexi, and Jake trying to decide whether or not he's going to stop Chucky or aid him in this. And I will tell you what, I have seen so many movies where you have bullies, so many movies and TV shows where you have mean girls and kids doing horrible, vile things to each other that just makes me think, man, I must have had a really easy life as far as my junior high and high school career went. Because I got bullied, but damn, that's on another level. When it showed Lexi, all episode building up her costume, that it's going to be this hot thing, it's going to be cool, wait till you see it, it's a surprise, wait till you see it, and she comes out dressed up like the other Devon Sawa doing the whole electrocution thing to get a bunch of laughs. I'm not exaggerating, my jaw dropped. I was like,
hell no!
Oh, no. She got to die. She got to die slow, soon, like next episode, slow. And that was just enough to push Jake into Chucky's camp to where by the end of this episode, he's seemingly pretty much on board with, okay, let's go kill this bitch. And it's going to be an interesting ride. You know, it's going to be an interesting ride seeing how far Jake goes with Chucky, what's going to push him over the edge, if anything actually does push him over the edge, and what's going to bring him back, if anything does. I'm extremely curious to see where these two, their relationship continues to go in this series. And so far, I love what they're doing between them. You know, one of the things that I liked about the Child's Play remake is they really explored the friendship between Chucky and Andy like never before. And this is very much in that vein, but in a much darker vein, to where you're finally getting Chucky that has a friend to the end that he might be able to go slaying with. And it's going to be a really interesting ride. So I'm totally on board with this character dynamic and with the main character, Jake. I think they're doing a great job story-wise with them so far. Also, a lot of really cool cinematography and a lot of really cool shots in this episode, just like the first one too. I mean, the room that was lit completely with candles, the way that they lit up the neighborhood, very much giving you those Haddonfield vibes, which I'm totally in Halloween mode right now, as you guys have seen on my channel the past week or so. And so that was really cool. That was really at home for me to watch a Chucky show and still feel like I'm somewhat in Haddonfield. And there's even some really cool shots regarding the reflections on knives. There's 2 of them in this episode, which apparently is Brian De Palma influenced. I watched a little behind the scenes after this episode, and I don't have a ton of experience with Brian De Palma films, like mostly his crime films, not so much some of his horror films. So it was neat to see where those influences came from, because I've picked up on a few of Don Mancini's influences throughout the past couple of movies and certainly the first episode, but Brian De Palma was one that I would not have nailed without him telling me. So it was cool to see influences of other horror directors and other horror franchises within this episode, and I'm sure we're going to see more as this TV series goes on. And finally, I must say that this episode, along with what we already got in the first episode, has gotten me on cloud 9, that the dialogue that they are giving Chucky and that they are giving Brad Dourif is on point this season. I mean, there were so many great lines in this episode, especially that whole scene where he's sitting there playing Xbox or something with the little girl, and they're having a little bit of a discourse about, you know, I always say that, you know, killing's good for the whole family. You know, you can kill the babysitter, you can kill the nanny, you know, you can kill your sister. And he's kind of like testing her out a little bit. Like, I wonder if she can be next, if she'll join the cult of Chucky. And you get that great line that was in the trailer from a couple of months ago where he's like, yeah, mommy's full of shit. So good. So good. I felt like Chucky's personality was missing a little bit in Cult, and it's on full force here. So I'm very happy as a Chucky fan that Chucky is Chucky. To be honest, I don't really have any negatives with this episode. Nothing stood out to me as something that bugged me or something that I thought could have been done better. I thought for what this episode was trying to do, you know, setting up that furthering relationship between Chucky and Jake and giving us as the audience a reason to totally back the murder of a teenager, I thought it did a damn good job. So for me, episode 2 is actually a big improvement from episode 1 that I was a big fan of. So what do you guys think of episode 2 of Chucky? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you think the episode was better than episode 1, or do you think we're going downhill from here? Let me know all of your thoughts. Did you pick up on any other references from other horror films that maybe I didn't notice here, or other horror directors? Be really interested to talk about that. And be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're finding me for the first time, so that tomorrow you don't miss our live stream. And every single week we're going to be doing this. Every Tuesday night you're getting an edited review of my quick reaction thoughts, and then the next day we're getting a full spoiler discussion with a guest every single week. So please do not miss any of that. Be sure to like and share this video, help get some new eyes on this channel so they can hit the subscribe button and not miss any of that Chucky awesomeness. And as always, guys, thank you for watching, and remember, opinions are like assholes, but that doesn't mean that you have to be.